I'm Harry, this is Drum Electric. So you want to get into sampling and triggering for maybe a gig, or you want to run backing tracks but have no idea where to start because it's a very daunting and very expensive world. So I'm going to try and give a rundown of where I think is quite a good place to start for not too much money and show you sort of the first steps into this world of drums, tech, electronics, everything like that. So firstly, which one should you buy? Because there's 1,000 and they're all so much money. There's loads of main options when it comes to drum pads. There's the Roland SPD-SX series, there's the Alesis Sample Pad series and the strike pads, there's the Yamaha DTX Multi-12, there's the Nord drum pads. Is that it? There's probably some more. I know there's the Millennium from Thomann. There's so many. And as you can see, the prices very much vary. So I started with the Alesis Sample Pad and is what I have right here. This is the Alesis Sample Pad 4 and is what I recommend to start with on this journey. Now you don't have to start here, and I'd highly recommend using this if you're just kind of wanting to get into it. If you're doing this because you've been asked to from a musical director or someone else that's requiring you to do this on a gig for the long run, then I'd recommend looking into something like the Roland SPD-SX because it's a little bit more industry standard and just means that for the long run, that'll probably be better. Whereas obviously if you're just doing this just to learn a new skill, then I'd highly recommend with the Alesis Sample Pad because this is about £100, so it's still expensive, but it's not too bad. Whereas obviously the Roland SPD-SX is about £500 to £700, which is pretty steep. So the Alesis Sample Pad 4, this is what it looks like. Alesis Sample Pad 4. It's quite small, it's pretty sturdy feeling, so it won't take up too much real estate on the drum kit. It also has a really handy dandy mount on the back, which I'll get to in a little second. That's the best bit of every piece of technology in the whole wide world. And now, I'm gonna get a fingerprint right in the center of this screen. It smells a little bit strange. So really annoyingly, if you buy one of these, this isn't everything that you'll need. It comes with a power adapter, so you can turn it on, which is great, but there's no actual way to get sound out of it. So what you'll need is a jack cable to go out the outputs on the back here. You'll need one or two, depending on if you're in stereo, but I'd highly recommend just one to go out, and then that can go to a PA. You'll also need one of those big to small headphones adapters, so then you can put your headphones in and listen to it. And you might also want to think about a headphone extension lead, because if this is somewhere on the kit, the cable from your headphones or in-ears might not reach it, so I highly recommend one of those as well. So straight away, that's one jack lead, one headphone adapter, and one headphone extension. If you're using this on a gig, you might also want to think about a DI box, which is a little bit terrifying, but it's all good, I promise. It's just a box that takes a jack signal into an XLR, and then that's what you can plug into a mixer. The good thing about this though, is you can put a kind of a big question mark over it, because a lot of the times a venue will already have this. As long as you're clear and you say, hey, I've got a sample pad, it's got a jack output, we're gonna need a DI box. They'll usually be like, cool, great, gotcha buddy, no problem at all. I also mentioned the mount on the back. It does come with 4 screws somewhere that's now on my floor, but it basically means that you can put a metal mount on the back of this and put it onto like a stand that's the equivalent of a cymbal stand. The best way to find it is to Google your sample pad, so in this case the Alesis Sample Pad 4 mount. Easy as that. You'll find it's this weird metal plate with a thing on it, and that's how you can then mount it onto pretty much anything. So they're the extras that you'll need to get with a sample pad. There's a lot of little bits, but once you have that, then it will work with every single sample pad. So at least there's that. So when you get it, you'll need to turn it on. Comes with a nice cable, although I do recommend seeing what this is and potentially ordering a spare. Again, if you're using it on gigs and you're plugging it in, taking it out, it might get worn down, but for now, should be all right. Plug that into the back, which is the power one. You just press the power button on the back, the screen will come on and it will load up. Now the good thing about all of these is that they come in with built-in samples. So straight away, you can just play it straight off the bat. Now, like I said in the last section, you'll need a cable, either an output to a speaker or to your headphones, but when it lights up and it's all done, then you can literally hit it and make sounds. So to navigate between all the patches, on the front, there's some up, down, left and right arrows, and all of these you can just hit the right arrow, and as you can see from the top left, the kit number changes. So if I keep pressing it, it goes all the way up, and you can see that the samples change as well. This is the same on any of the drum pads. On the Roland SPD-SX, for example, you're pressing the plus and minus buttons and that will change patches, or on any of the other ones, just press one of the arrow keys and usually it will change. So in this case, the right arrow is to go up a patch and the left arrow is to go down a patch. So once you've navigated through, you've hit it a couple of times and you're like, these sounds are okay, but I want my own ones. Where do I find samples? It's the ultimate question. I've collected a bunch of samples over the years from different gigs and having to find a bunch of stuff, but the main places I get them are, funnily enough, the Alesis Sample and Loop library, which is just a free download on the website. There's also the SPD-SX sample library from one of the really early days samplers from Roland, which again, free download on the website. There's also websites like Epidemic Sound and Splice. Splice is pretty good if you want sort of like drum loops and that sort of thing. And then there's YouTube. If you just need like one hit sound, then YouTube is a great place to go. I'd highly actually recommend checking out, like, if it's a percussion sound, checking the percussion demo, because what they'll do is they'll hit it once and actually they make really good one-shot samples. So I highly recommend YouTube for that sort of stuff. But outside of that, I just find songs, put them into Logic, cut them up and export them, and that sort of stuff is really quite fun to do. So that's kind of it for now. That will get you some sounds out of this. So from here, the best thing I can recommend, if you haven't already, is literally just hit it. Find songs that have clap samples in them, or just add claps to your grooves and see how that feels. Straight away on kit 1, sample 1 is clap. So let's find that, let's find a groove, let's put a clap in it. If you haven't already, I'd highly recommend subscribing, because I'm gonna have a bunch of videos on this very pad coming out. So running backing tracks from this, importing samples, all the way through to MIDI controlling Ableton with this pad, because yes, you can do that. So subscribe if you aren't already. Or you can even book a one-on-one with me if you wanna have a little bit of a deeper dive into things, or you just wanna have a chat about electronics, or just drums. I love all of that stuff too. All of the links are down in the description down below. And with that, I hope you have a fantastic day.